now in that phase, you got to learn each other in different perspective as well.
Yes.
So I think our friendship has really grown in so many phases. I think with every phase, there's a side of someone that you get to learn. So during that period, what did you learn about me? I'm emotionally detached.
Yes. For you, you've made up your mind about where you're going. Like you'll just say, so that is done with. So right now we are working on this. You see, someone is like, okay.
So there is, I think for me, during that season, it was a season where things were happening so fast. So I resigned, and I resigned without a plan. My plan is Mtumba. Then we get to this point. Within the first month of me resigning, I get 2 job offers. I jump on. My baby is still young. So there's just so many layers that are happening at the same time. But like your support is still like a constant. Then we go through that season, like it's nice. You're also going on well with your career and yeah, you're working at one of the biggest hospitals. Like I think for us during that season, both our careers are picking up, and this is just like 3 years ago. And then I get pregnant again, and give birth. And I think you also came.
Yes.
You also came for that period. And then now, because everything is picking up, we are at a place where we are like, you need to do something, because there was something that you were really passionate about doing. And I was like, let's partner in this. So the next transition is now us thinking that we can translate friendship into business relationship. And for me, that was a total flop. Because I believe like the way that we've always been really cordial with each other, I think we've never had a period where we are at war in any way at all.
And
then now we have introduced business into the equation. And then now we have to like have conversations about this needs to be done, that needs to be done. And then from now, a different side of me shows up, and like you're not comfortable with that part of me, because I've realized I can be like, I'm always goal oriented. Like it's game time. Let's go. Like things have to happen very fast. And I quickly realized it's putting a strain in our relationship. Maybe you can talk about that.
I think the main problem that the main flop that we did was we didn't set like the said goals before. So you're in a different headspace, I'm in a different headspace, and you see all of this is happening on phone. And then with you, when now you get into that goals oriented like space, it's like you detach from your emotions. And, you know, me on this side, I'm the one on the ground and everything is happening, and I'm like, okay, fine. With me, I never really want to be like a failure. So from your tone, I'm feeling like I'm doing everything so wrong. I'm like, okay, fine. What am I doing that is so wrong that she can't even like see the right things that are happening? It's like every time you're like, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. I'm like, okay, fine. There could be things that are not happening. But at what point do you get to recognize things that are actually happening?
I think that's one of my biggest weakness is that I always like observe things from the lens of what can we do better, what else can we do, and I think it puts a strain on relationships in a way that you don't even. I think it even always happens with me and Maureen. Like when it's time for work, like you can see a different side of me that you have never gotten to experience. And so for me, I think we got through a very awkward moment. Like it was so awkward that I was like, for me, I decided let me keep quiet and just not engage, because the more I was engaging, the more I was putting strain on our friendship. And for me, one of the biggest lessons that I learned is our friendship matters to me more than all those things. Like we can just be friends and not engage in these other very many things that puts a strain in the friendship, because the friendship existed before these other things existed. And so I got to a point I was like, I am going to walk out of the business and leave it, because you are the expert in the field. That's number one. And secondly, it was not worth it. Like I was like, I cannot sacrifice almost like a 2-decade friendship just because of business. And so I had a conversation with you, I think after a while. We didn't speak for a while. And then when we had the conversation, I was like, I just needed you to understand that it's not personal. For me, like when it comes to business, it's always like business. I think even Moses always complains about the fact that I'm always hard on him when it comes to business. And so I've realized effectively that the people that I relate with on a day-to-day, I cannot do business with. And so I just told you, like, it's okay. You can run the business because you are the expert in the business. And then I will remain as your friend. How did that make you feel?
Like, for me, the main thing for me on my end is always when you start up on something, you need not to give up. Like, for me, doing things and coming out as a failure is really wears me down. So I was like, okay, fine. I get the bit about the strain because I was in it. But like, things can still happen. For me, I just felt like when you're going off in a different direction, you just need to set up really strong ground rules. I think that was like we assumed a lot of things. I've never like experienced you in that light. So that was also a bit strange for me, because it was like, okay, fine. Maybe this is my first, or okay, what am I doing wrong? For me, I think that is what was really bothering me, because it felt like maybe there are things that I'm not doing right. Because every time you talk, you want more and more and more, and I'm like, you need to appreciate where we are before you get to the more. Because when you don't appreciate like where you are or what someone has done, and then you just want more, it almost feels like there was nothing happening here. There's nothing happening here. But I think it was okay.
And I think now in that phase you got to learn each other in different perspective as well. So I think our friendship has really grown in so many phases. And I think with every phase there's a side of someone that you get to learn. So during that period, what did you learn about me? I'm emotionally detached.
Yes, because someone can be really expressive about something, but as long as for you've made up your mind about where you're going, like you'll just say, so that is done with. So right now we are working on this. You see, someone is like, okay, fine. Okay. What time do I get an emotional reaction?
And that's something I didn't know about me. What I know about me is I can be extremely hard, and I don't know when to separate relationships. Now we are business partners, but now we are friends. Like, it becomes very, very problematic for me to switch roles. And so one of the things that I learned about myself in that moment is that if a relationship really matters to me, I'll just keep it at that level. Like that, if a friendship really matters to me, we keep it at that friendship level so that we don't get to introduce so many different facets to it. Because like, as a friend, I think I was doing well until that point. And you were doing perfectly well until that point. And then like we threw this thing that we were not ready for into the mix. And then like things blew up. But I'm glad that even through those phases, we can still reach out to each other and talk about it.
Yeah.
And we did talk about it. And I told you I will give you all the support that you need. But like I am stepping out. But then you run it because you are the one who knows the business and how it's run. And so that was another layer to our friendship. And so bottom line, I think our 30s so far has been more of evolving. Both of us are evolving. So there's different things that are coming in. 20s was a bit all over the place because a lot of things were happening. But I think 30s is growth.
Yes.
And having to learn yourself at every different point of that growth and learn how to define your friendship within those limits. One of the things that I've loved about our friendship is we can even like go for many days without talking, but like there's always that assurance that that person is my friend. They will always be there for me.
Yes.
And I think for me that has been one of the most important thing because in your 30s, like things happen so fast, you might not be there for each other like every time.
Yeah.
But then if someone has the assurance that if they need you, they can
she'll
call
be
you.
there.
I remember when I'm having a medical emergency, I know I can call you anytime and you'll pick and you will let me. You will advise and you will even like tell me how to go about it, which is something that I really, really appreciate. And you always know that you can always count on me as well. And I think that has been the biggest part of this relationship.
Yes.
And so if I were to summarize our relationship in a few adjectives, I would say that we are very respectful of each other. We are very supportive of each other. We understand each other at a level that is not like just basic. It's like knowing that even in someone's silence, they still love you and like they are not going anywhere.
Yes.
And I can also say that it doesn't matter what we go through differently, like our experiences, like my journey of faith is not where you are when it comes to faith. There are different spaces. I am married with many children. You're not yet married with no child.
Yes.
You are in a whole different field in terms of career. I'm in a different field in terms of career.
Yes.
But one of the things that has always been constant is the fact that I know Mercy will always be there. And Mercy is not changing. Even if like today you get married, I know like I can still have a friend in you. Which is unfortunate because you get to hear these stories of someone got married and their friendship ended.
Which doesn't make sense because what has changed about you? Because if you were the same person before, why is now just a progression in your life changing who you are?
Which I think it's partly because people have not built a foundation in their relationship. So they still, like, you have friends, but there's still a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy. You have friends, but then you feel that in a different space they cannot be your friend. Like, I think people define friendship very differently, but I think most of friendships are very on the surface. So maybe mnaenda tu club pamoja, mnaachana, mnasengenyana on the side. So like, because now this person is married, cannot no longer go to the club with you.
So they cut you off.
They cut you off because like now you are no longer...
You're relevant.
Yeah. So I think when relationships are have a good foundation, then it doesn't matter the different phases of your life. Like you can still go back to that foundation. Why are you friends in the first place?
Yes.
And so I believe even for relationships between females, I think people need to define their
True.
relationship and base it on something
Yes.
that is not superficial, like not at
I
we're
think-
just going to the club.
I think the problem with most people is maybe I get to go to the club with you, so you know my club face.
Yeah.
Then I get to go to church with someone else, so
Yeah.
they know my church side.
Yeah.
And then my house, I keep it to maybe family
Yeah.
alone. I don't want my friends around my house.
Yeah.
So it's really, people, I don't know, are really weird.
Yeah. So it's very, very
Very-
I think friendships are very on the surface. Like when you go to my home, you can literally go without me.
Yes.
And you will just fit in.
Yes.
I think it needs to get to a point that even when words are not said, even when conversations are not had, you are still secure in the fact that you're friends. And
Yes.
so respect, I think, is a big part of friendships, because there's many friendships where watu wanatusiana, like people throw words, people are cussing at each other. Like, it's a bit like awkward. Like it doesn't even make sense anymore as to why you guys are really friends. So you make up and then you break up, you make up, you break up, you make up. So it doesn't make sense.
Like there's no basis around it.
There is no basis around it. And I think for us, we have done a good job of laying a good foundation so that we know that even when we go through stuff, we can always come and talk about it and
Yes.
move on
Yes.
respectfully,
Yes.
without anyone cussing at each other or anyone feeling any type of way. I think that is one of the things that I really, really appreciate about our relationship and about our journey. Maybe if you have some parting shots before we leave.
I think you've pretty much said it all. So yeah, I love the seasons that we've been through.
Yeah.
And I love that we, like when we go through different seasons, it's not like you let someone go through the season alone. Like if
Yeah.
you know about it, you're in it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So someone is not scared of telling you like, this time I'm going through this and this and this.
Yeah.
Because you know, like they'll be there. They won't judge you through it. They'll
Yeah.
just be there for you in whatever capacity you want them to be there,
Yeah.
and in the capacity that they're able to support
To be
you
there.
at.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, just getting to understand each other. And there's so many things you've not touched on too, because I don't want us to start crying here and stuff. Things like loss,
Yeah.
the painful moments, and how that has defined our relationship. I know that we will talk about it at a later stage. But then like there's so many transitions that we've
Yes.
had throughout this friendship. And mine is to be appreciative of the fact that throughout all those transitions, the foundation has not cracked. So we can let someone go through, like I saw you go through your dad's illness and passing. And there are times you needed space, there are
Yes.
times you'd break down, there are times you'd need just someone to be there without saying anything.
Yeah.
And so navigating those different phases and ensuring that your relationship holds throughout those phases, I think is some of the things that we can maybe just give our viewers, just to be able to get an insight of how to balance everything. But I think it's been a really good relationship. No drama. You don't have to be dramatic. Like, I don't understand dramatic relationships. Like, mnarusha visu, mnarusha. I don't know whether it's you or someone else saying this. There's someone who fell out with their friend on an airplane.
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah. So like wanna like they want to fist fight
Oh God.
on a flight. I'm like,
You're risking your life.
yeah, like I'm like, how do you even get there? Like, you're going on a trip together, but you are fighting on the way. So how are you going to go on a trip?
Wow.
So
Why did you even
hopefully-
plan the trip together in the first place?
So like you see the erraticness of relationships. It's not like really something that you get to appreciate as you grow older. And I think for us, even as we approach our mid-30s, 40s, 50s, and as we celebrate the different wins
Yes.
that we will have together, I'm just hoping that the foundation stakes, and that this becomes an inspiration to someone who is watching and struggling on how to be able to navigate the different phases of relationship, because people will not get married at once, people will not have
Yes.
children at once, people will
Yes.
not celebrate degrees and diplomas
Yes.
and PhDs at the same time. But it's in the ability to be able to be there for each other, even throughout the phases, even if you've not gotten there yet, and still be there for them.
Yes.
It's what really truly defines a relationship. So thank
Yes.
you for coming, Mercy. I had
Thank
to
you for
drag
having me.
Mercy, literally. I appreciate the sacrifice. I know, like, she's not, those are the things that are different about us. Like, she's not on camera kind of a person. If you go to her Facebook, I think the last post should be last year, October 10th. So she's not a social person that you do this with me. That is really such an honor. And we will film when we go on our 20-year. So yeah, maybe we will drop Sharon in if she has time.
Yes.
And we go on a trip to celebrate our 2 decades of friendship. If there's anything that resonated with you from this video, please let us know. Like, comment, share. If you have questions for us, please ask us. And just be kind on the comments. Show Mercy some love so that she can come back. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
Bye-bye.